Empire Television, Kern County In Depth with 17's Jim Scott.
Welcome. Thanks for stopping in this weekend. Ask anyone who is living with drug or alcohol addiction and they will probably tell you that getting clean and sober on your own, cold turkey, can be a traumatic experience. The process of detoxifying your body of the poison that controls your life can produce a whole host of adverse physical side effects associated with withdrawal, even death in some cases. Addicts who've been there, gotten clean, but then suffered a relapse are fearful of the prospect of ever trying to go it alone again and would rather, in many cases, remain addicted than go through that white-knuckle experience once again. Medically assisted treatments for detoxification have proven effective, but they cost money. This weekend on Kern County In Depth, I'm going to introduce you to what I think is a missing piece in the puzzle as we search for solutions to addiction and beyond that, homelessness. It's a new detox facility locally owned and operated by the nonprofit One Door. Their mission is to rescue those gripped by addiction, to restore families and transform lives. The only requirement of a patient is a willingness to receive help, regardless of their ability to pay. The founders of One Door revealed their Community Resource and Recovery Center last week in Bakersfield. 17's Karen was there.
A stay at a detox center can cost tens of thousands of dollars, but Open Door Recovery Center aims to take patients regardless of their ability to pay. Meet Louis Wright, husband, pastor, father of 4, and former drug addict.
What I remember most was the look in my husband's eyes when his addiction had finally gained full control of his life.
When Wright was prescribed OxyContin for a back injury, the medication became his gateway to heroin.
I actually wanted help, but I didn't have any of the finances or the resources to get help.
Ultimately, a friend's generosity allowed him to enter a treatment program.
By the time somebody decides they want help, they've kind of exhausted all financial resources. There's no job, there's no insurance, there's no family that's willing to pay. And some of these detox services can be up to $25,000.
That's why Wright and his wife Jairus are launching One Door Recovery Center, a detox facility geared toward those without insurance.
Those people that don't have the ability to pay, they still need to be detoxed.
And how they'll do that? Through faith that local businesses and sponsors will step up and donate.
So based on the community support, that would be based on our availability to have an opening.
The program will also offer individualized therapy, group sessions, and family counseling.
It's affecting higher income communities. You know, addiction doesn't discriminate. So we're seeing it in Seven Oaks, we're seeing it on Cottonwood, we're seeing it across the board.
They also hope their services can help much of the homeless population.
I believe making access to these services is super vital for us to see our city transformed.
The Wrights say they hope to open their facility in North Bakersfield in 3 months. In the meantime, you can donate at their website, onedoorrecovery.org. I'm Karen 17 News.
All right, and joining me now, Louis and Jairus Wright, founders of One Door, Community Resource and Recovery Center, and Wendell Vinson. He is senior pastor at Canyon Hills Assembly of God Church. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you, Jeff.
This is very exciting stuff we got going here. Louis Wright, give our viewers the vital statistics of for One Door, your operating budget as you see it at this point, at this early juncture, staff size, revenue streams.
Yeah, right now we're looking at raising around $250,000 to start. That would be a budget for the year, our annual budget. And that's what we really kind of need to be able to launch and be able to serve the community well.
What do you envision as a staff size? How many people will be working at One Door?
Right now we have one doctor, we have a therapist, right. We have an RN that's working for us that'll be taking vitals, and we also have about 3 drug and alcohol counselors to start. All
right. And Jairus, you're collaborating with the mission at Kern for bed space. So already you're collaborating, and this is a partnership that makes sense on both ends, right?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, they don't have the capacity to serve and do medical detox at the mission, and so It's not a duplication of services. We're just meeting a need for both programs to operate successfully, because we are outpatient, so we don't have beds for people who may need housing while they're getting detoxed, and the mission doesn't have the capacity to offer detox services. So us working together, we can really fill the gap that's needed here in Bakersfield.
And in order to live in a shelter, you first have to be clean and sober, right?
In order to enter into their program,
right.
Yes.
Right. So first you got to get through detox before you can get admitted into Bakersfield Homeless Center or the mission at Kern, right?
Correct.
Now, a lot of people in our community who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, they want to quit, but they can't afford to pay for the rehab and the detox, and going it alone is just too difficult for many people, right? And because most of them can't afford to check themselves into a detox, they're kind of trapped, aren't they?
Right, right, yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's so much associated with it where guys are just kind of stuck. You know, the detox process can be a pretty intense process. You know, with them getting sick, there's a physical side to it, but there's also an emotional side to it where guys, I mean, thoughts of suicide, and some of these emotions are almost so fearful when they come into it that they just stay.
And they're very pronounced. These symptoms are very pronounced in people who are addicted to heroin and opioids, right?
Sure, yes.
Right. And how does that experience affect their outlook if they're trying to come off of a relapse and go it alone again? I mean, some of them would say, I'd rather be addicted than go through that again, right?
Exactly.
Now, Pastor Vincent, your church founded an outreach program called City Serve, and your mission in this context is essentially to go out and identify struggling churches in disadvantaged neighborhoods and bring them back to a fruitful existence, if you will, right?
That's right. In every neighborhood, every part of our community, there's a church. And that church is a tremendous potential infrastructure for good things in that neighborhood. So City Serve works to empower those churches to serve the brokenness in their community.
And you see within the brokenness in these neighborhoods, you see evidence of addiction, I imagine.
It's huge. It's a problem that's just impacting our community terribly. The vast majority of the homeless issue in our community, the individuals that are homeless, are people that are struggling with addiction or mental illness. And that challenge is not going to go away on its own. We can hope it goes away. It's just not going to go away on its own. We have to be intentional. We have to intervene. There's no solution without our community intervening. It's going to take government. It's going to take law enforcement. It's going to take the faith community really working together to try to engage with that challenge. And we say hope's important, but hope's not a strategy.
No.
We have to develop a cohesive strategy of addressing homelessness in our community. That means addressing the underlying issue of addiction and mental health.
So that in of itself is a good enough reason to be an ardent supporter, of which you are,
Absolutely.
of One Door. Yep. But you also have watched this young man's journey from the onset, right?
I have. Louis is my wife's our nephew. He is the son of my wife's brother, so we've had a front row seat to his story, watching what has happened in his life, watching him move from addiction to a freedom and being a person that has emerged with his family restored and intact and being a vital, healthy part of our community.
Right.
And so it's caused us to have great hope for the homeless that are on our streets and those who are broken and hurting, that we really have the ability to intervene and see their lives transformed.
And Louis, if it were not for a friend of yours who helped pay to get you into a detox and rehabilitation program, you might not be sitting here right now talking about this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so actually they had made it completely free for me to come in. So they said as long as I had willingness, they would be willing to take me in. I was one of the only people that got in that way. Man, and it saved my life. It really did.
All right, I got to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion and the question, what about a detox facility for people who are not only addicted to drugs or alcohol, but who are also homeless? You're watching Kern County In Depth.
This weekend, we're making it even easier to live with more. For a limited time, get 3 years no-interest financing. Plus, enjoy up to 10% off our guaranteed low prices. That's 10% off living rooms, 10% off bedrooms, and 10% off dining rooms. Come in this weekend and shop all of our newest 2019 arrivals. So go on, live with more for less. Find your style at morefurniture.com.
Roscoe here for Guarantee Shoe Center. It's Clark's Week, and we're so excited. Save $15 on all Clark's shoes now through April 15th. Come to the Big Trunk Show April 13th from 10 to 4. Register to win free shoes. Get a free gift with purchase. Meet the Clark's rep. Join the fun and excitement. Save $15 on all Clark's shoes during Clark's Week, going on right now at Guarantee Shoe Center, 21st and Chester downtown. Where else?
Recommending Mickey to protect someone in a personal injury case is like recommending my very own uncle. You can't go wrong. He is who he says he is. Exactly what you see is what you get. Just an awesome all-around person who, when it comes to fighting kind of big insurance companies, he's going to do absolutely whatever it takes, even if that means applying the principles and techniques of jiu-jitsu against big insurance to protect you.
Call my office, the law offices of Mickey Fine, 661-333-3333.
Tax refunds are coming. Consider a new car from Bakersfield Mazda.
We love our Mazda. As a teacher, it was so important for us to have a car that was reliable, safe, and it looked good.
For us, the biggest selling point was safety when buying a Mazda for our daughter.
We are definitely a Mazda family. When we got our tax refund, we decided to buy a new car and headed to Bakersfield Mazda.
Bring your tax refund in and join the happy family of Mazda owners at Bakersfield Mazda in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Welcome back. With a new and more accurate point-in-time census in hand, we have a better understanding now of the homeless problem here in Kern County. The documented homeless population doubled from the 2017 census. The scope of the problem is more sharply defined now. And we know Bakersfield needs more bed space for our homeless. We know Kern County needs more emergency, transitional, and affordable housing. And we know there are new tax dollars through the passage of Measure N that will be allocated in years to come. But what about the issue of drug and alcohol addiction among our homeless? Ask anyone who's living on the streets today, and they will probably tell you most of the people they interact with in the homeless community are struggling with some form of addiction: meth, opiates, heroin, alcohol. If you are homeless and you want to get into a shelter, again, we can't repeat this enough. You have to detox first before you can get clean. You have to detox and get clean before you can be admitted into any kind of a rehab program, whether it's Teen Challenge or the Mission at Kern or the Bakersfield Homeless Center. And some addicts are just not willing to do that because it's too difficult to do on their own, as we've said. Louie and Jairus Wright are with me now, as well as Wendell Vinson. They are my guests, and I got to ask all three of you. Do you think Kern County has a homeless crisis on its hand or an addiction crisis?
I think it has both, but the addiction problem is at the root of the homeless issue. And unless we address the systemic underlying problem, we're not going to fix homelessness. The idea that we can just give people a place to live is just not sustainable. It's impossible for people just to be given the keys to a home and go in and do well. They have to get free from that addiction or healing from that mental illness, and that requires treatment and help. And it's a longer-term process, and so that's why One Door is trying to fill that gap.
Are we in all agreement on that?
Yes. I think as a community we've done really well. Helping with the housing issue. I think we've done really well with the mental health issue, but I think that we've really kind of lost sight of the addiction issue, which Wendell is talking about, the underlying issue.
Among our homeless here, there's a lot of lost souls out there.
Sure.
And so One Door seeks to treat addiction on three levels: the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual level. Why is the spiritual element so vital, in your opinion? Anyone want to take that? Go ahead.
It's so important because when you learn more about addiction, you realize that getting rid of the obsession and true freedom, it requires something greater than ourselves. It requires a power greater than ourselves. We don't have the capacity to remove the obsession, or else we wouldn't find ourselves in addiction to begin with. So that's why the spiritual component is very important.
You're not out to convert people to Christianity per se. but you are out to at least introduce them and have them consider the notion that a power greater than themselves can restore them to sanity.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and we're welcoming everybody into this program.
Yeah, we're really kind of opening people's eyes to our own human resource has failed us. We've tried and we've tried. You know, nobody wants to throw away their family. Nobody wants to be addicted to drugs. They really, really try to change, but our own human resource fails us. That's why it's so important that we really gravitate to a power greater than ourselves that really will restore us to sanity. It'll restore our lives. It'll restore our families. And really, that's the direction we're trying to point people into.
And an equally important component of your detox and the follow-on recovery program is the 12-step program, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Explain why that's important. I mean, people have to have an awareness about what their addiction has done to them, mind, body, and soul, basically, right?
Right. The steps are so important. You know, it's a practical way to see addiction. It's a practical way to be free from addiction. And after we can move people into the understanding and working of the steps, man, it's really these steps that are practiced daily in our lives that keep us free. And it's just so important. I mean, a 10th step, right? Laying your head on your pillow at night and thinking, hey, who have I wronged today? I need to make that right, because if I don't, it leads to a resentment. And a resentment unaddressed leads me back into addiction. You know, step
talking about making amends for people that you've harmed during the course of your addiction, right?
Yeah, it really is the key to all-around wholeness for the individual and for the people that they're in contact with.
Before we go to break, I got to ask you, I'm intrigued by the name you've given your facility, One Door. Explain.
Yeah.
Well, One Door, you know, we believe that there is one door. As people of faith, we believe that Christ is that door, certainly. So we, you know, make no apologies about being people of faith, but we our goal is to serve everyone. I can't tell you the joy, Jim, that we feel as a family, having seen firsthand someone we love who had lost everything, his family, his children, his home, his career, because of addiction, walk through that one door and find wholeness. It's brought joy to not only their lives and their family, but their extended family, and now our community, as that weakness became a strength for Louis and his family, and now they're serving our county.
A huge success story by opening that one door.
By opening that one door.
All right, stand by. I got to take a break. When we come back, Karen Go, Mayor of Bakersfield, will join us. You're watching Kern County In Depth.
Let me have them. DDIY.
DDIY?
Don't do it yourself.
Big Brand Tire and Service. Big means go.
Hi, I'm John Busby. Here's what some of our customers have to say about Team Busby.
The biggest thing that we really liked about Team Busby is the fact that it wasn't a business. It was more about your family and for our needs.
When you think real estate, think Team Busby.
It can't be. I'm not ready. I do spin class. What? The refrigerator? Oh, come on. Do you know how much this cost me? This is killing me. Let me rephrase that.
Your refrigerator, air conditioner, water heater will all die sometime. When they do, your homeowner's insurance won't cover them. Be sure your budget's protected with an American Home Shield home warranty. We help cover the cost to repair or replace components of your systems and appliances, no matter their age. Limitations and exclusions apply. Home systems and appliances will eventually die. Count on American Home Shield to get you back up and running.
Oh, the air conditioner too?
Be sure your budget's protected. For free information, call 1-800-710-0536. That's 1-800-710-0536. Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield.
A revolution is coming. A flaming hot burrito revolution. The Hot Tito's Burrito. Available at Tacos La Villa Mexican Grill.
Did you know that Big Brand Tire and Service offers Valvoline oil changes? Well, you do now. You're welcome.
Big Brand Tire and Service. Big means go.
Welcome back. Bakersfield Mayor Karen Go is joining us now, squeezing in here between multiple functions she's attending tonight. So thanks for making time for us, too.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You were at the unveiling of One Door at Bakersfield Country Club last week. Your reflections here on what Louie and Jairus Wright have created.
I'm so excited to see this program that's filling a gap in our community. And it's not only just doing detox, but it's restoring families and transforming lives with evidence-based curriculum. So that whole combination is such a wonderful package to fill this very major gap in our community.
I know you to be a woman of strong faith. I've always appreciated that about you. Why do you think the spiritual component to this detoxification and recovery program is so vital?
We can have people physically detox, but without that transformation of their heart, how do they move on? And it's not only people of faith such as us who believe in this. There is now research that actually shows the importance of combining spirituality with recovery. And there's a study actually at Columbia University, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse. A 2-year study, Columbia, this is not a faith-based organization, and surveying all across the United States, a review of more than 300 publications and 3 national data sets.
Peer-reviewed by scientists, too.
Yes. Here's their conclusion. The finding of this 2-year study is, if ever the sum were greater than the parts, it is the combining of the power of God, religion, and spirituality with the power of science and professional medicine to prevent and treat substance abuse and addiction. That was their finding in a 2-year study.
You know, I imagine there are some people out there watching this program right now who might be saying, you know, addiction was created by these individuals, and this is their problem to solve. And why would we as taxpayers want to be on the hook for funding their rehabilitation and their recovery? I'm throwing that out to you. How would you respond to criticism of that nature?
Well, obviously we have a huge problem in our community. The notion that one has to be the cause of the problem to also be part of the solution, I think, is faulty. If we love our community, part of being good citizens and part of being leaders in our community, leaders engage and leaders do something. And I don't think it's optional to continue to drive by in our community and see the brokenness and the condition of our community and just look the other way. All of us, government, law enforcement, and the faith community have to step into this problem, or it's not going to go away. And we have to be part of the solution.
Yeah. I also think that we need to begin to look at some of these individuals in a different light.
Yes.
This is somebody's daughter. This is somebody's son. It could be our son. It could be our daughter. And we would hope that somebody would take the time to help when they see the need, if we have the resource to do it.
You know, the most inhumane thing we could do is let them just die on the streets in the condition they're in. That's the most inhumane thing we could do, is just hope that it fixes itself.
I would say that Big Pharma has to shoulder some of the blame here, because I think that Big Pharma sold America on the efficacy of opioid painkillers and did not disclose the highly addictive nature of opiates. And now we are left to pick up and clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know how addictive they are.
Right, yeah.
And when you couldn't afford it anymore, you turned to heroin because it was cheaper.
Yeah. So that's how it really started for me. That's how my opiate addiction started.
That's my opinion, and, you know, not shared by management here at KGET or anything. That's just my opinion. Right. So it would seem to me that we need more than maybe one detox facility in this community for the uninsured. What do you think, Mayor Go?
Absolutely. It's a huge, huge need. And I'm so glad that we're starting with one, and I would encourage the public to support this. It clearly is a gap. We need to make sure that we're addressing the continuity of care. Homelessness, substance abuse, those are very complex issues.
They certainly are.
And one agency cannot do this. This is our community. These are our brothers and sisters. We are our brother's keeper.
And when it comes time for this Citizens Oversight Committee for Measure In, the sales tax increase that's generating some $50 million in new tax revenue annually for the city of Bakersfield, I would hope that this committee takes a strong look at what One Door is setting out to accomplish. What do you got to say about that? And the city council has to follow up on these recommendations. They have the final say. I'd hope the council would also get up to speed on this.
We need to be strategic in our approach to homelessness and into the systemic issues of our community. We can easily put up buildings. We need housing. We absolutely do. But without having a transformation of the heart, without getting to the root issues of homelessness and substance abuse, we can't make progress. I'm very interested in systemic, long-term change for our community.
All right, you have the final word. I want to thank Louis Wright and his wife, Jairus, Mayor Karen Go, and Pastor Wendell Vinson for coming in. I appreciate your time very much. I'm back with a final word after this.
We're having the talk with a sexpert, and she's helping our audience answer the tough stuff. Do you believe that you are sexy? Then does Bobby know all? Yes. The hilarious Bobby Moynihan tries to read our audience's inner thoughts.
Yep, I'm on the Rachel Ray Show.
And from jail to jacked. See the hot new fitness trend that started behind bars.
20 more here.
Next, Rachel.
Weekday mornings at 11, only on TV 17.
Continental Labor and Staffing Resources is committed to developing Kern County's workforce of tomorrow.
Continental Labor has been serving this community since 1993. We provide high-quality employees to all industries. Our safety team works around the clock to ensure our employees are working safely, following protocols, and always equipped with the right PPE for any job. We're always recruiting for roustabouts, various equipment operators, general labor, forklift drivers, and even some office positions.
Trust Continental Labor, a culture committed to safety and providing you and our partners the highest quality work experience. Go online or call us today.
This weekend, we're making it even easier to live with more. For a limited time, get 3 years no-interest financing. Plus, enjoy up to 10% off our guaranteed low prices. That's 10% off living rooms, 10% off bedrooms, and 10% off dining rooms. Come in this weekend and shop all of our newest 2019 arrivals. So go on, live with more for less. Find your style at morefurniture.com.
From fixing a broken sprinkler to designing and remodeling your entire yard, Kern Custom Landscape is committed to providing excellent workmanship and craftsmanship to make our clients' dreams a reality. Kern Custom Landscape is dedicated to the hardworking people of Kern County with over 25 years of experience providing the best quality at the best value. Call us today to schedule your free estimate, 661-496-6952, or visit us at kerncustomlandscape.com.
If you would like more information about One Door and the services they offer to break the cycle of addiction, you can visit their website at onedoorrecovery.org. You can click on the donate button for one-time donations or monthly support options. And there are also videos you can watch on that website to learn more about the founders, the need they're addressing, and the hope this facility will provide. That's our program for this weekend. For all of us here at 17 News, I'm Jim Scott. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Kern County In Depth with Jim Scott is a production of Kern Golden Empire Television. For more information on how you can contribute, simply visit kget.com. You can also like us on Facebook and give us your feedback at Kern County In Depth.